All right, Miss Badass Biker Chick over here. Think it's okay if I ride my dirt bike with you? She will allow me. Sorry, we can't.
Tweety bird off?
Nope, that's yours now.
No. I'm breaking nails when I get it off.
All right, well, just going out for a quick rip down to Lenny's for a second, and today, obviously, I still don't have my Rocket 3, so I'm riding my very gaudy dirt bike along with my girlfriend on her super cool black cruiser. And you guys have been watching the channel know that this is a two-stroke KTM 300 XCW two-stroke, and it has the very coveted tag on it. Everybody who has a two-stroke, everybody who has a dirt bike always wants to have a tag, and this thing is street legal. I've got the Fooligan mod here. So I broke that when I looped out a wheelie, and I never actually got a new one of these. So one of the questions I get all the time, at every video I have where I ride this thing on the street, I get a dozen people asking me, how does this thing do on the street? So how good of a street bike is a two-stroke? And so that's what I'm going to answer today. And the short answer is, it's fucking terrible. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things that just because you can ride it on the street doesn't mean you should. I mean, technically you can take a Cadillac mudding, but that doesn't mean you should do it. It's kind of the same thing with this. I mean, just because you can put it on the road, just because it is street legal, that doesn't mean it's a good street bike. It's actually a fucking awful street bike. And some of that has to do with the fact that I do have non-DOT knobbies on it, so I mean it's the tires are fucking terrible for going on the street. So anything above 50 miles an hour, they absolutely bounce all over the place, and they're totally fucking terrible. I mean, it's got a mirror, but I mean you can't even get it in the right position. Let alone even if you could get it in the right position, it vibrates so much that it'd be totally fucking useless anyway. There is that. It is fast. I mean, this is a fast motorcycle. But right about here, right about 50 miles an hour, anything above this is absolutely fucking awful. I mean, the whole bike bounces around. It's just, I mean, you can't maintain speed. So, I mean, it's off and on. The power band is just so terrible. That's basically what you're doing the whole time. It's just going from this all throttle to nothing. And that's a combination of the gearing that's on the bike, because it's geared for off-road, and also the fact that it's a 300cc two-stroke. This thing is a race bike. This is not meant to cruise around on the street. I mean, maybe if you had supermoto tires on it and a little bit of a better gearing, maybe it'd be a little tamer on the street. But still, I mean, it's just not what it's made for. I mean, when I first got this bike, I thought that, oh, I'm gonna get a set of Warp 9 supermoto tires for it, and I'm gonna be able to put it in the back of the truck. We're gonna go do like Tail the Dragon and take it places, and I'm gonna be able to ride it on the road. And the whole thing is it's just a really, really terrible street bike. I mean, it's absolutely fucking awful. Not to mention, just putting it on the street is really just bad for the bike. I mean, this motor was made to go really fucking fast, not, you know, putt around at 45 miles an hour while we cruise up to the pub. It's just not what it was made for. That was not a graceful turn. Just hanging out here with all these hogs on my KTM. I'll tell you another thing about this bike that makes it suck as a street bike is, like I said, there's no key, there's no nothing. It's just ready to go at all times. Is luckily here at Lenny's, you can sit right at the bar and it can see out the window. But you really can't leave this unattended anywhere because somebody can basically just ride it away at any time. Or even if they didn't want to ride it away, it weighs like 220 pounds. You could throw it in the back of a pickup truck in a second. Hey, it is what it is. It's just not made for it. The engine isn't made for it. I'm sure there are two-stroke engines, especially some of the 70s bikes that are made to be on the street. Just this one is not. It's not made to run down the street. It is what it is. I mean, if you think you're gonna get one of these bikes just because it can be street legal and it's gonna be like your daily rider or something, think again. It's not. If your commute was like a mile, yeah, you could probably have this as a daily rider. But if your commute to work is anything more than a couple miles, or if you really want to ride this bike any more than what I just did, which is basically just down the street, it's just not going to work for you. And I've got no headlight right now. I feel like the people who ask if you can put this on the street and be okay with it are people that they really want this bike to be something it's not. And it's not a street bike. There are just so many bikes that you'll be so much happier with. Like the Husqvarna 701 or the KTM 690. That's a great split. Or even the KTM XCFW 500. Really, what you should look at is like the Husqvarna 701 Enduro. That's what you should be looking at. I mean, if you want something that's really capable of doing something off-road and also being a capable street bike, just people want this bike to be something it's not when it has a tag. And just because it has a fucking tag on it doesn't mean it's going to do what you want it to do on the street. I mean, a couple miles, a few miles here and there on the street, no fucking problem. Anything more than that, you're just asking the bike to do something it can't.